The joy of the RG10 podcast is that you can listen to it anywhere or at any time. Maybe you're walking the dog, or perhaps on the train on the way to work, or whilst exercising out for a long run, a very long run of about 4,000 kilometres from one side of Australia to the other. That is the almost indescribably tough challenge a pair of local lads have set themselves in a bid to raise money for ARG, a Wokingham-based organisation that offers a confidential counselling service. So far, the expedition has been anything but straightforward, with the pair being hit by a litany of ridiculous disasters beyond their control. I caught up with Josh and Jake at the end of a hard day's running, just a few hundred kilometres east of Perth. Here's Josh.
We came out here to run the perimeter of Australia. That we probably encountered every problem that we could have, which started maybe 2 or 3 days in. We're driving down the freeway in Adelaide. Next thing you know, the 4x4 and the caravan's on its back, and Adele, someone like you, is just playing. But yeah, we've absolutely wrote off the caravan. Just a swerve in the road has sent the caravan swaying, and then we've rolled down. We're lucky to be alive, to be honest. So that was our first issue. And that
was going from Adelaide up to Darwin, was it?
That's right, yeah. We landed in Melbourne.
Which is a few thousand miles to get there still, isn't it?
Yeah.
A long drive.
And then we found a place in Adelaide who helped us out big time. They're called BBS Garage. And we sourced a new caravan through them. Got all the way up to Darwin, started running. We were about 200 Ks on our way to the East Coast. And then the 4x4 died, the head gasket gone. And well, we didn't know that first. The engine just stopped and the car stopped suddenly after one of our runs. We were stranded in the outback for a week.
So, Jack, silly question really, but describe to me how you were feeling at that time when it was happening.
Oh, it was just like, do you know what? I think after the crash and we got back on the road and we jumped over so many hurdles and we keep moving forward. When we were told the 4x4 was essentially just completely done, we weren't our heads weren't down. We were still trying to find ways of getting back on the road. I mean, we haven't come this far to come this far. You know, we were like, no, everyone back home is supporting us. As you know, there's pressure on us to achieve something big, and we weren't going to come home empty-handed. And we kept plugging away. We made loads of phone calls, done loads of emails, and after a lot of time waiting, we came to this decision. But when we were told the car was gone, we just thought this has got to be a wind up. This is a great book. This is going to be a good book. So, but the team were excellent. We were very, very very down, very worried, very confused, but we never gave in. We always kept trying to think of ways to get back on the road. We made so many calls, and now we're here to which is the main thing.
Yeah, so there's been a slight change to the challenge. You were running all the way around Australia, Project Perimeter. What is the challenge now?
So the challenge now is to hopefully become the fastest ever Brits to run across Australia. The record is currently held by a woman called Nikki Love, who achieved it in 77 days. And yeah, we're going to set out to try and beat her record. We'd love to get 60 to 65 days. We're 5-6 days into our run. We're getting fitter, we're getting stronger, we're getting used to the heat now. We're running from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Long old days. But yeah, we're getting used to it, and we're that's the record. We want to become the fastest Brits to ever run across Australia.
And what is that distance? It's going from Perth to Sydney, isn't it? What's the distance? How far are you covering each day at the moment?
So the distance from Perth to Sydney is about 4,000 k, so 4,000 kilometres, which is about 2,500 miles, and we're running about 54 to 57 k's a day. We want to crank that up.
That's over a marathon every day, essentially, at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, about 35 miles a day, 35 miles a day. But the weather out here is just so hot as well. You wake up at 8:30 in the morning, and it's boiling hot, not a cloud in the sky. So yeah, I'm ginger as well, so it's not looking good for me.
You're about to hit a notorious part of the country called the Nullarbor Plain. I'm sure people have talked to you about it. That's about 600 miles, essentially, of desert, which is going to be hitting about, if you're lucky, 40 degrees centigrade during the day. I know someone who cycled across there and told to me it was the most boring, horrible thing he's ever done. So let know what running across it is going to be like. Anyway, on that cheery note, Josh, mentally, how much is this taking out of you so far? Only 6 days in.
Yeah, look, everyone's told us about the Nullarbor because originally we were meant to do the perimeter, so we're actually meant to hit it in like January.
Yeah.
And everyone said to us, look, it's not possible. You simply can't do it. The tarmac's too hot, this and that. So once we hit it, quite nice to have said we've done it. And then, you know what, once we're past the Nullarbor, is the home straight after that. It's a small stretch from, so say, Adelaide, Port Augusta to Sydney then.
That's not a short stretch. I assure you, that's not a short stretch. But positive thinking, I like it.
Yeah. Well, we would have gained a lot of ground by then, and I think we're like thinking about getting home again to that finish line by then. Yeah. But mentally, it's been good. Like, we haven't been running for the past 3 or 4 weeks, so very rusty first 3 days. Even now, we're still adapting to the miles every day. But yeah, we're feeling strong. Like, today was probably one of our strongest days running. Hit about 57 Ks, I think. And we're only going to get stronger and fitter, and the routine is nice, and we're just getting used to it, and it feels like everything coming in. But right now it's like we get in, we recover, stretch, eat, and then back on the road, smashing up some tarmac tomorrow.
Injuries wise, how are you looking at the moment? What kind of things are you worried about? What are you doing to stop injuries happening?
Injuries wise, we're doing okay. Apart from our muscles being tight in the morning, which is normal. Touch wood, nothing bad's happened. We're stopping off at campsites. Quite a lot of the campsites have cold swimming pools, so we're trying to get in them straight away. Get ice on our legs. We stayed at a family's house on a farm last night, and they gave us this ice bath, which was absolutely horrific. Just ice cubes. That was it. Just ice cubes and a small bit of water. And I was a bit of a weasel. I only about 20 seconds. Josh done about 2.5 minutes. Fair play to him. But, any opportunity to get cold water on our legs, we're doing it. We're stretching, but our muscles are just getting used to the pain now. Like you're very, very achy in the morning, very tight in the morning. But once you've been walking a couple of minutes, we walk around a campsite, we stretch. After the first mile run, our muscles are warm. They know what they've got to do. They know how to operate. Big blisters. We've had a couple of big ones yesterday. But as long as nothing serious happens, we should be fine.
Support team wise, who's helping you with this?
We just got one man called Alaric. He's our cameraman, our driver. We did have a team of 5, but obviously because of the change of plan, we had to, a few of them had to depart us. But there's only 3 of us in a little RV shuffling across Australia. Alaric's been brilliant. He's taken the best photos. He's making the best content. He's driving from place to place. He's getting us water. He deserves a lot of credit. He's done a lot for us, and hopefully Josh and I are in a position one day to give him a nice reward for
it. Josh, I can't believe I haven't asked either of you this question yet, but why are you doing it? Any particular reason?
Good question. It's probably not a normal thing to do. I think there's lots of reasons, and they're probably different for both Jack and I. Just like for me, it's like pushing myself and seeing how far I can push myself physically and mentally. But also just the adventure of it, being out in Australia, running across Australia, seeing what happens, seeing what's about. There's lots of reasons. I probably don't fully understand the full extent of why I'm doing it. It's probably something I'll reflect once I'm finished. But it's been an adventure so far, and that's sort of what I came out to do.
And how about you, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing quite a lot of ultra marathons. Like I've been running my whole life, so I've always been in that sort of frame of mind to push myself. Back in April this year, I ran 103 miles, which took me about 31 hours, and it was really painful thing to do. And every time I finish an ultra marathon, I'm always trying to think of ways to better myself and to become stronger. And just doing a big ultra marathon and doing something, whether it's the fastest Brit or the first Brit to do something, it'd mean a lot to me and my family. So, and of course, we want to raise as much money as we can for ARC. So we put those motivations together, and that's why we're doing it.
You mentioned ARC there. Tell me a bit more about that. What you're trying to do for them, why you chose them.
Yeah, we chose ARC. When we were planning the perimeter, we were in the planning process. We were looking for a charity to raise money for, and there's lots of mental health charities that you can raise money for, but we thought, why don't we work with a smaller charity and we can really see where the money goes. And ARC's a local one to us in Wokingham, and it is a volunteer counselling service, and it offers free and subsidised counselling sessions to young children and adults. And for the reasons of it being a volunteer service and helping our local community, we thought it'd be perfect. And it's a charity that definitely needs the funding because of the cost of living constraints. People don't have enough money in their pocket to be helping these sort of people and to be donating. So if anything we can do to support them will be massive.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Finally then, how can people kind of keep abreast of what you're doing, where you are, how the challenge is going?
Yeah, so for all updates, check out at Perth to Sydney on Instagram, which is just TO, not the number. All our updates are going on there with photos and videos from Alaric. They've been class so far. And then if you visit the link in the bio, you can check out our Give Star page, which will take you to the page where you can donate to our two charities, Art Counselling and the Armed Forces charity.
Lovely. Josh and Jack, thank you so much. Best of luck as well. And not everyone will be able to see this. You will if you're seeing this on YouTube, but you both look absolutely exhausted. Your eyelids look so heavy. So I will let you go and get some well-earned rest. Thank you so much.
No, Ben, we just want to say thank you for having us on, helping us get the message around back home, and hopefully drives more people to our page and to our donation page. So yeah, thanks a lot for having us on. It means a lot.
And you can find those links in the episode show notes. Thanks for listening to the RG10 podcast. Do give the show a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts, or feel free to share it with friends, family, or anyone else for that matter. Goodbye.